Legislative Committee approved the Bell-to-Bell No Cell Act. Now it heads to the Senate. That's where lawmakers are set to continue the debate to see if it will move forward at the Capitol. If passed, legislation would ban smartphones and other personal electronic devices like smartwatches from every single public school in Arkansas. School districts would be required to outline their policies online with exceptions for medical needs, extracurriculars, and emergencies. If the legislation clears the Senate and the House, the ban would go into effect for the 2025-26 school year. We'll keep an eye on what happens today at the Capitol and bring you the latest here on 5 News. Jury selection will continue today after 4 years of delays in a triple murder trial that's underway in Madison County. Hunter Chenoweth is accused of killing 3 of his family members in 2021. He's charged with capital murder and could face the death penalty if convicted. Trial attorneys have started considering 50 prospective jurors to be seated in this trial. Prosecutors accuse Chenoweth of shooting and killing his mom, Tammy Chenoweth, his stepfather, James McGee, and his sister, Cheyenne Chenoweth, at a home in the Wesley community of Madison County. Once a jury is seated, prosecutors say the trial could take a couple of weeks, with dozens of witnesses scheduled to take the stand. The Trump administration's tariff on Chinese goods took effect at midnight, prompting swift retaliation from China. Natalie Brand is at the White House with the details and what comes next.
With the Trump administration's tariffs on China now in effect, China is punching back, saying it will impose tariffs of its own on U.S. imports. The White House says President Trump plans to speak to Chinese President Xi Jinping soon.
The president made it very clear with the 10% tariff on China that he is not going to allow China to continue to source and distribute deadly fentanyl into our country.
Starting next week, China says it will impose a 15% tariff on coal and liquefied natural gas products coming from the U.S., as well as a 10% tariff on crude oil, agricultural machinery, and large engine cars.
This time they have a slightly different strategy of hitting oil markets.
Philip Luck served as the deputy chief economist at the State Department under the Biden administration.
It's going to reduce demand for U.S. goods, and it's going to have a negative effect on the economy.
The tit for tat with China comes as proposed tariffs on Mexico and Canada are on pause for at least a month while negotiations over border security continue. Canada has promised more choppers, drones, and personnel, as well as a new position for a fentanyl czar. Mexico's president has promised 10,000 National Guard troops to help block the flow of drugs and migrants. But in the border town of Laredo, Texas, business owners who rely on the flow of trade are still worried.
With an extension of just 30 days, that doesn't push anything. The only thing it does is pushes the line. It doesn't erase the uncertainty.
Many say they're stocking up on Mexican goods now in case tariffs happen down the road, causing prices to increase. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
If the tariffs on Canada and Mexico had gone into effect, millions of Americans across the country could have seen cost increases in utility bills, cars and parts, alcoholic beverages, produce, and even furniture. 5 News reached out to Black Hills Energy and Ozark Electric Cooperative, who both say it's too soon to tell how much utility bills could have gone up. We also spoke with Precious Cargo in Springdale before the news of the agreement with Canada. They said not all furniture warehouses would have seen a big impact.
Most of what I'm doing is not imported from Canada. I would have a sense that the freight costs may come down to combat the tariffs. If you deal with a third-party wholesale outfit, you may see a little bit more price increase.
The 10% tariff on China is now in effect, but President Trump says he plans to speak with China's president soon. Well, crews are pulling wreckage from the Potomac River after Wednesday's deadly mid-air collision between a commercial jet and an Army helicopter. Investigators recovered parts of the plane, including an engine and a wing, as they continue their work to determine what caused the crash. The cockpit recorder shows the plane was flying at 325 feet before impact. Officials say the pilots may have tried a last-second climb to avoid the helicopter.
It's important for us to not speculate, because there are all kinds of reasons that you could deviate from an altitude. You know, something as simple as a flock of birds is in front of you, or you may deviate if you see something that's an obstacle or other threat to your flight.
The NTSB is analyzing the black box to understand those final moments before the collision. Well, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt opened the legislative session with his State of the State address, outlining his vision for 2025. The governor said he's prioritizing another round of income tax cuts with a half-point cut to individual and business income tax. The governor also announced the launch of Dodge OK with a purpose to keep the focus on flat budgets and limited government. He also has plans to shrink state government employee count and end work from home policies for state employees.
We need to, number one, protect Oklahoma taxpayers. Number two, let's be the best state for business. Number three, let's safeguard our savings. And number four, let's protect the Oklahoma way of life.
Shortly after Monday's speech from Governor Stitt, the Democratic leader of the Oklahoma House released a statement opposing the governor's tax cut plan, saying it would help the wealthy and not working-class Oklahomans. The ongoing budget dispute in Jefferson County, Arkansas, has reached state leadership. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders says she's signing emergency legislation to require leaders on the quorum court to pay employees who haven't seen a paycheck for nearly a month. The House bill will require cities and counties that can't come to a resolution to pass a budget by February 7th each year, or it will revert to using the previously approved budget to make sure all employees are paid and county services are provided. It has received bipartisan support, with the governor saying she intends to sign it as soon as it hits her desk.
I respect our communities and I respect the leaders they elect to serve them. But at the end of the day, we cannot let this situation go on for any longer. So we are stepping in and collectively working together to make sure that the people of Jefferson County are taken care of.
Jefferson County workers were in Little Rock for the governor's announcement, and legislators say they hope the bill will be seen in a committee as early as next week. And that budget fight has delayed pay to Jefferson County employees, as we said, for more than a month. In partnership with the Arkansas Food Bank and various organizations, essentials were given to those impacted county workers. The event was in the second food drive held for county workers. In addition, MetalPro donated $10,000 to the cause. Organizers are planning to continue offering assistance as the county finalizes a budget resolution.
It's a disaster in Jefferson County. So I had a truckload today and we're gonna do it again next week. They are really hurting.
The next Jefferson County meeting is set for later today, and we'll let you know what happens. Looking ahead, the battle over a $320 million casino in Russellville isn't over just yet. The Cherokee Nation is heading to federal court, hoping to revive its Pope County casino license after voters struck it down. According to our partners at Arkansas Business, after 6 years of legal battles, the Cherokee Nation is making one last push to save its planned casino in Pope County. A federal trial set for March 25th will challenge the Arkansas amendment that revoked its casino license. The tribe has already spent millions on the project, and officials say an appeal is likely no matter the outcome. A judge previously called their case strong, but whether it's enough to overturn state law remains to be seen. Well, sports betting is booming, but it's creating new challenges for student athletes. Officials at the University of Arkansas and Arkansas State say online harassment and prop bets are putting players at risk, and they want changes. With sports betting just a click away, college athletes are facing more than just game pressure. A recent NCAA study found over 70,000 online messages targeting student athletes, many from angry bettors. Some schools want Arkansas to ban prop bets, which allow wagers on individual players' stats. Officials say the goal isn't to stop gambling, but to protect students from harassment and addiction risks.